Welcome to PDAC 2023. My name is Julian DeRosi from the IIF. I'm here joined by Jared. Jared, hi, how are you doing?
Good, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to have you with us. So Jared, first, if you could present yourself and the company you're working for.
Yeah, my name's Jared Scharf. I'm the president and CEO of a company called Desert Gold Ventures, and we are a mineral exploration company based in Western Africa.
Okay, and more specifically, where in Western Africa?
We're in the heart of the Birimian Greenstone Belt of Western Mali, which is a Tier 1 gold mining camp.
Okay, and then, so this is a proven jurisdiction. If you can tell us a little more about your land position and who are your neighbors?
Right, so probably one of the things that separates us is we have a very large land package. It's 440 square kilometers, and we are bordered by Endeavour Mining to our west, Allied Gold to our north, and Barrick and B2 to our south. And so within that mining camp, there are roughly 35 million ounces of historic production reserves and resources. So it's an extremely active mining camp.
And that also means that you have access to infrastructure as you have producing mines all around you.
Yes, we definitely have access to infrastructure, access to water through the Falémé River, but more importantly, there are multi-million ounce high-grade open-pit gold deposits along trend to our north, our south, and to our west.
And then surely that means that you're also trying to find an elephant. Can you tell us what happened in the past 6 months, maybe highlights, results, or what's exciting that had been happening?
Yeah, so that's exactly right. That our model is pretty straightforward. We're looking for a multi-million ounce discovery that's going to change the game for our shareholders. Within our gold project, we've got 25 plus gold zones of various sizes. They're all open. Within the last year, let's say, we discovered a gold zone that was over 100 meters wide true thickness from surface. And there are probably 3 or 4 mineralized corridors that look like they have the potential for world-class discovery. And what we're looking for is something that's wide with economic grades and that has a good strike length.
And maybe one more detail. So for new investors that want to come in or current shareholders, lately we looked at charts of you guys at land package and exactly how much do you control on the fault? What are kind of the sub-faults there are, and where do you expect to find gold more specifically on your land?
Right, great question. That's a really great question. So the most important regional feature for gold mineralization in the region is something called the Senegal-Mali Shear Zone. And it's actually what our project is named after because our land position is strategically located all along it. So we have 43 kilometers of strike exposure from north to south of the Senegal-Mali Shear. And then there's a secondary feature to the west called the Main Trans Current. And we've got about 11 kilometers of the Main Trans Current. And the Senegal-Mali Shear is related to Barrick's Loulo-Gounkoto mines, B2 Gold's Fekola mine, Allied Gold's Sadiola and Yatela mines, and then the Main Transcurrent is related to Endeavour's Massawa Sabodala mines. And so it's a very active mining camp. It's also a very active area for M&A.
Well, this is great to hear. So basically, this is exactly the kind of land position you want to have.
Sure.
You want to have that exposure to the faults exactly because the deposits that have been found in this district are exactly near the fault, actually. So it's not 20 kilometers offset, 100
No.
It's really on it. So this is a great thing that you have for your shareholders, obviously, all that control in the land. But can you tell us now that you have actually advanced with a lot more drilling campaign, our guys are starting to get a very good understanding actually of the geology and so on.
Sure.
What will the next 6 months look like? What do you guys want to accomplish, and what are the milestones, obviously, you want to have your shareholders to be with you?
Right. So there are, let's just say, within the land package, because it's so large, we have to prioritize our targets. And the priority, the way we prioritize is simply, what do we think is going to be the biggest and the best? Let's say that at high level. And there seems to be a threshold of a 2 million ounce number. If you can get a 2 million ounce resource with economic grades in this part of the world, usually you have a really compelling open pit mining scenario. And so right now we're sitting at 1.1 million ounces. That's spread out over a couple deposits in the south of the property, but they're all open along strike to depth. We have a high degree of confidence that we can make them a lot bigger. So what I'd like to accomplish this season and next is to drill a minimum of 30,000 meters each season.
Okay.
I think if we can do that, there's a reasonable likelihood we can push above that 2 million ounce MRE and mineral reserve estimate, and move on to a PEA. And I think that will be a big game changer for the company. Take it from that sort of middle advanced exploration stage to a development stage project.
Well, this sounds exciting for sure, but obviously 30,000 meters cost money. Can you maybe discuss a bit of cash on hand position?
Yeah, so we've got about 1.5 million Canadians sitting in the bank. We're doing exploration right now. We're doing an auger program, and we're doing some metallurgical work, and we're doing a whole bunch of mapping. We're going to wait to get the results from the auger. And I won't get into too much detail about auger, but essentially it's an excellent exploration tool in this part of the world because a lot of the geology is covered by overburden, what we call laterite. And so the auger gets underneath, and you can actually drill into the fresh rock and the hard rock and get a sense of, some of the big discoveries in this part of the world were made underneath cover, where no one had thought to look before. So once we get the results from the auger, if they're encouraging, then we'll look to do a follow-up RC, air core, more traditional type of drill program.
Absolutely. And then can you also tell us a little more about your share structure? So for anyone that's new out there, looking at the videos, finding the story exciting, what's your share structure? How many shares out do you have, and who are the big guys behind?
Right. We've got 197 million out, non-diluted. Management owns about 8%. We've got a fund called Merck, a U.S.-based precious metals fund. They own about 8%. And then a couple of high net worth individuals. Ross Beatty owns about 4%. Like I said, management's in there for a good chunk. Grand Peak Capital, which is a Vancouver-based investor group, they own about 8%. So, and we trade our main listings on the Toronto Venture Exchange under DAU. We're listed in Frankfurt QXR2 and on the OTCQB DAUGF.
Great to hear. So if anyone wants to also follow the story, wants to know more about it, wants to go through your presentation and so on, where can they do so?
Well, at our website at desertgold.ca, but we also put a lot of our information on our Twitter handle as well and on LinkedIn. So you can also follow us on social media.
Perfect. Well, this is an exciting story for sure. Controlling a belt is it's a critical thing. You guys are in a proven district. We wish you the best of luck. We're going to continue following this story for sure. And Jared, thank you very much for being with us today.
Thanks so much. Appreciate it.